Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Ragu here with the What If Issei. Or what if Issei was betrayed and became, or not was betrayed? What if Issei became a villain after being betrayed? But yeah. Sorry, I haven't actually done the thumbnail, but not the point. Let me begin. So what if, let me shut the fuck up and let me begin. Okay? Okay. I don't know when what's it called is going to start raining at where I live because mostly there's sun and then there's black sky. Now I literally just kind of, how should I say, put my clothing in the not dryer like the outside. So if it starts raining, I'm gonna run out there and I'm gonna pause this video. But yeah, but not the point. Let me begin. This is what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me begin. But yeah. We go into mostly Great Red having multiple bumps in his head, and of course telling Issei the other locations of other people. Now, of course, where Issei has to go to the Succubus for some fucking reason. Mostly the base of operation of mostly, or not base of operations, mostly where the Succubus are at. He has no clue why he has to go into the Succubus when he literally doesn't need a Succubus. Then again, he does realize that mostly Succubus are pretty good at charisma, sneakiness, and other shit. They're like fallen angels, but really good at seducing a man. And of course, he realized that he needs mostly people to do that, so he can be able to go against the factions. And he knows that the factions are quite half the time horny. But yeah, this is where he sighs and just gets to the location. This is where, when he gets to the location, he's literally just crouching down, just looking at mostly a battle. It's mostly like an army full of, mostly this army is full of like mages, somewhat also humans, and somewhat skeletons. He doesn't understand too much. It kind of looks like the Chaos Brigade kind of army, but then again, Chaos Brigade army should have disappeared like a couple of months ago. Since the last time we fought against Triseca and even the Chaos Brigade, but yeah. But right now, he's looking at this and saying, what the hell? Shouldn't Chaos Brigade disappear like a long time ago? Not the point. This is where he noticed a bunch of succubus trying to fight back. There's this one succubus that's like fit as hell, and this is where, she like literally grabbed a tree, tossed that shit straight to mostly a bunch of people, and they got pierced by either branches or just by the force of the tree just smashing into them. This is where, he says, ooh, that gotta hurt. This is where he noticed one of the, one of the generals or whoever the hell was actually leading this army was a guy with he looked to be also mostly skeleton figure, or whatever he looked like. Mostly has the feeling of a death. Well, mostly the feeling of a Shinigami, but not much. But of course, this person's name was none other than, his name was Thanatos, and of course, he was somewhat like the precisor of, or the assistant of death. You can't really remember, but mostly like Hades, like the helper of Hades or something. And this is where, the only reason that he can remember that name is because literally he just screamed out his name. The general dude literally said, "The name is Thanatos, and I am here for the queen of mostly Twilight Forest." Because yes, this is literally the Twilight Forest. And this is where, mostly, are they talking about mostly the queen of the Succubus? I don't remember her name, but I think that was the reason why I was here, to actually go get her. Or ask her, convince her. Fuck it. Should I go down there and help? Shit, whatever. Now, of course, you're wondering where the other kind of like other three members of Issei's group is at. They're usually at the house. This is where, they're trying to just relax because it's been a long time since they relaxed. They also had to take human form and had to hold a lot of power just to go to a town just to get clothing or something. And of course, they were, mostly the three of them are mostly talking to each other, asking if they actually really know it. Mostly two of them are talking to one girl with whitish hair who was actually named, Allison. The other, Allison is talking to the two yokais, asking if they actually know about Issei, or not Issei, mostly Susuke Isaac that much. Which, they have no clue. They just met him after mostly he kicking the shit out of a lot of people and killing the leader of the person who was trying to, kill them. But yeah. Allison nodded, and of course she remembers all the dead bodies of those vampires, who she calls them false vampires because they're not pure-blooded like her. But yeah. But of course, mostly that's the thing. we go into mostly back into Issei. Issei is seeing this, and of course, he noticed someone actually appearing. This person looks very, very beautiful. At the same time, she had a very curvaceous figure, and next to her was also someone with a very curvaceous figure. This is where, well, this person looked like this, most of the other one looked like this. So this is how the queen looks like. She has horns that are kind of red, mostly just long horns. She does have mostly demonic wings, but yeah, that's because she's a succubus. And of course, she does have a tail that's actually kind of hard, but not the point. So there's actually 3 daughters of mostly the queen. Of course, there's blonde hair with mostly demon horns, red demon horns, and mostly red and black kind of wings, demonic wings, and one purplish kind of tail. Of course, she's wearing this outfit. Of course, this is where the second one kind of looks like this. Mostly red hair, red eyes, black horns, bluish, blackish wings. And of course, she does have a black kind of tail that does have a heart. The last one is basically a girl with purplish hair. Of course, mostly instead of having horns, purplish bat wings with mostly on top of her head, kind of looking like an elf a little bit. And of course, has the wings of purplish, and mostly dark purple with mostly how should I say, a purple tail with mostly a heart. But yeah, not the point. This is where, well, they're either ranging from oldest or mostly oldest, youngest to mostly, yeah. So youngest to middle to oldest. You say can't really tell. They all look the same. Unless they're all twins, and that would be kind of shocking, because twins usually depend the other person to look alike. But those 3 do not look anything like each other. I mean, Issei might be just tripping, but whatever. He noticed that Thanatos was actually getting angry at the demon, mostly the queen of the succubus, not to bow down towards him. So of course Issei sighs and says, I wonder. Mostly, what's it called? Great Red told me. We go into a flashback on what Great Red told him. So succubus are a little bit tricky. They actually are intimidated with power. If you're much more stronger than the succubus queen, then she will submit to you pretty easily. They are quite easy-going people. They also do want a supply of mostly human essence. Human essence? You know, right now, kind of, you know what you do when you're down there, kind of shoot out some, mostly when you're hard and other. This is where he says, okay, I don't need an explainment from you. Fuck off. This is where, well, you just had to tell me what the fuck, what were you actually talking about? Okay, human essence is, you know, when you kind of, you know, make a child with another girl. Are you talking about? No, okay, never mind. I'm not going to ask you this question ever again. This is where, well, we'll see. Great, right? Kind of chuckled. Sweat dropping a little bit. This is where he did have 3 bumps around his head, because he did get clocked the hell out, but not the point. This is where he says, stupid fucking dragon. Can never give me someone actually normal, decent, or whoever the hell is strong. Maybe the same power level. I wonder, do I still have control over the Espadas? Or do I have control over mostly the Blackbeard crew? And this is where Issei is thinking about his other previous army. From the other different worlds. Issei thinks about it and then grins and thinking that, yeah, maybe he should be able to do that. With all his powers, he'd definitely be able to create back his army. Yes, he doesn't need this stupid help, but he just said, fuck it. Maybe the succubus should be helpful to infiltrating other ship, but not the point. This is where, well, he decides to jump down. Of course, this is where Thanatos does say that something that they are part of the Chaos Brigade, blah, 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 blah. Or not the Chaos Brigade, mostly Hades army or something. And this is where, well, he didn't really care too much. And this is where he says, yo, shut the fuck up. There's some people trying to sleep in the goddamn tree, you know that? This is where Thanatos will turn around. A bunch of army also turns around because, well, they hear this person. The succubus are confused, and they see literally a brown-haired person. Mostly, almost to be kind of close to black, the hair, but this is where it's dark brown. This is where his eyes are actually a dark brown also. He looks to be dressed up like this, but mostly bandages around him, like these blackish kind of bandages around him. Right now, covering up one of his eyes, and this is where, well, he says, can you all shut the fuck up? I'm trying to sleep here. This is where, well, mostly Thanatos says, who are you then? Also, I should mention how Thanatos looks like. Thanatos does look like a human, but does have kind of blackish wings. His eyes are mostly sometimes red, but not the point, or purple most of the time. And this is where, well, he does look like a fallen angel, but not entirely, but yeah. He does have a black robe and blah, blah, but yeah. He's also quite arrogant. This is where Issei looks at Thanatos and Issei says, "The name? The name's Succubus." Issei said it in such a cold, dead voice. And this is where almost everyone got the chills, even Thanatos. And Thanatos, for some reason, felt like he shouldn't fight this person because he's gonna get fucked up. But you know what Thanatos, what he did is just basically told his army to charge at him. Issei sighs, and this is where Issei points his finger up in the air, and this is where, well, he then says, "Haro, number 99, a golden tent." Mostly kind of like looks like it. So it looks like this, golden tent, but yeah. This is where, well, multiple like purple dragons appear from the ground, and this is where, well, all of the army just stopped for a second and just saw this, and also they felt the powerful spiritual reality coming off of Issei. This is where, well, all the dragons smash into the army and wiping like a good chunk of it. Now, of course, the army was getting wiped out by the succubus, but not that fast. This is where, well, Thanatos winding his eyes. The spiritual reality felt like a Shinigami, or mostly a death user. Mostly, yeah, a Shinigami, but not the point. This is where, well, he then looks at the person with widened eyes. This is where Issei is walking towards mostly, well, the person slowly and doesn't seem to care too much. This is where, well, the person, mostly Issei, has a very small grin on his face and it's getting kind of bigger. This is where, oh, the army that was actually around Thanos will start rushing straight towards mostly Issei. Issei says, "Pathetic." This is where, well, he says, "Haro, number 99. Or not 99, not 99. Number 90, black coffin." This is where, well, a black coffin literally appears, like a black box appears around most of the army, killing them in an instant. They all fall down to the ground already, having multiple wounds all around their body, and having deep-ass gashes in their body. This is where, well, mostly not wounds, like deep-ass gashes, but yeah. This is where they fall down to the ground, dying, all of them. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, pathetic. This is where, well, Thanatos says, "Who are you? How can you use that power? Who exactly are you?" This is where, well, I already said my name. Are you so stupid? The name is Succubus. I have already told you. But it seems your stupid ass can't understand that. This is where Thanatos grits his teeth, and this is where he summons out his scythe and says, "Then I'll kill you!" He charges at Issei, and this is where Issei summons out his sword. This is where it's called Kyokusetsu, and this is where, well, not Kyoku. Is it Kyoku? Wait, let me actually fuck. So yeah, I thought of Kyokusetsu. Man, I thought that only out of instance. But yeah, this is where, oh, not the point. Kyokusetsu. He pulls out a sword that literally looks blank, or like just kind of regular, but not regular. But this is where the queen notices it's not regular. This is where when the person tries to cut at Issei blocks with the sword. This is where Issei keeps blocking it with the sword easily. The scythe is never able to hit him. Even if the scythe is a little bit curved, she'll be able to hit opponents, even if opponents manage to block it. But Issei managed to block it at the right distance where the scythe can never hit him. This is what, well, mostly making, as a cop, Thanatos narrow his eyes in anger and says, "You bastard!" This is where he tries to do it again. Issei sighs and decides to let him do it. This is where, when he actually managed to kind of cut mostly Issei's head, it looked like he won. Mostly Succubus and even the army kind of narrowed their eyes and saw, and mostly the army kind of was in happiness, but because they managed to kill the arrogant bastard. But the Succubus was kind of in despair a little bit. But when they kind of realized something, that wasn't Issei. That was literally a part of mostly Thanatos' army. He literally just killed one of his men. Thanatos winds his eyes until Issei appears behind him and says, "You know, with your eyes is nothing but an illusion. You should have your sensory much better. You know that?" This is where Thanatos winds his eyes before a huge slash appears in his chest, making him fall down to the ground. This is where everyone winds their eyes, even the Succubus back again. They had a little bit of hope, and now they have more hope, because clearly this person is much more dangerous than, well, the army. Because killing Thanatos was just, like, one slice. Like, they didn't even know he fucking did that. This is where, Issei said, "It's time for this army to disappear also. But I will not be using Kyokusetsu. No, I'll be using my own bankai that I actually learned. Well, I decided to create for my own self. Similar to Kyokusetsu bankai, but not at all at the same time." This is where, Issei right now makes a sword, pull out of nowhere, and this is where it was a black sword, completely black. And this is where Issei stabs the ground, and this is where Issei says, Bankai. Well, mostly he says, Bankai. This is where, well, or Bankai? Because there's a lot of different types of Bankai, so I'm going to just say, Bankai. This is where, well, Aku, well, mostly it says, Bankai. Aku no Kyokero no Sekai. This is where, well, a black domain kind of expansion, similar to that, like a domain expansion, actually appears all around the army of mostly Thanatos. Thanatos is still alive, but they were not alive for much longer. This Bankai literally affects real life. It literally just affects mostly true reality. It can harm it. It can scar. Well, mostly. Let me say it again. It can harm them for real. It can actually scar their lives if they manage to survive, and it also just destroys their brain by making them brain damage, or not brain damage, brain dead. But not the point. This is where, well, mostly all they saw were the horrible nightmares, the true demons of this world, nothing but just terror. This is where, well, Thanatos that he thought he can never fear anyone, but he only feared one person, that is literally true death. Not Hades, true death. This is where, well, those who fear literally death, to wish to not die, and those who didn't really care if they die or not, those who didn't die were mostly the ones that did not care to die. They were just scarred for life. And those who were just willing, not wanting to die, they died in this world. It was nothing but a murder site, a slaughter site, full of chickens. Mostly there were the chickens, while Issei was literally the predator, because he was the one to control this world. And there was nothing but pure darkness all around Issei. His eyes were completely crimson red. This is where, well, he looked to be a different figure entirely. He looked like this. He looked like a figure with armor, having crimson red eyes, having kind of reddish horns, and having something on his back of his head, like a kind of, it's like a, similar to that of my, mostly Icarus, kind of like red kind of flag behind me, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly this armor was all except, of course, there was black aura around him, kind of like misty, but not the point. This is where, well, when that happened, this is where, well, all of the army of Thanatos was wiped out. Issei came out looking like he was fresh. He looked like he was fine. He looked like there was nothing on him. He came out looking like got them eyes and like he was fine. Like there was really no wounds on him at all. No hurtness. And also no bodies around him. This is where, well, mostly Issei then transformed both of the swords to be gone by mostly just making them disappear back into his body. But yeah. Kyokazugetsu and also Aku kind of disappears. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, well, that was interesting. They were weak as hell. Issei looks at the Succubus and the Succubus Queen, and that's where Issei says, I'm only here to talk. That's all I'm here for. This is where, well, we go into a time skip. So, we go into a time skip of mostly Issei meeting up with the Queen of mostly the Succubus. This is where, well, they're right now talking about stuff. Right now, the Succubus Queen is actually thanking Issei for actually helping them and defeat mostly Hades and his army. Now, of course, she was actually confused if it was Hades' army or if it was the Chaos Brigade, because she knows the Chaos Brigade got defeated by the Red Dragon Emperor a long time ago. That's where, well, Issei noticed how much the, what's it called, Succubus seems to be seeing that they seem to trust the Red Dragon Emperor, which he thinks he can use this to his advantage. That's where he grins. That's where, well, he doesn't really grin outside, he kind of just smiles and says, I see, so you do really trust the Red Dragon Emperor a lot. Yes, we do. Mostly the Queen of Succubus said, with a very lustful tone. This is where, well, mostly to kind of despise anyone that kind of does that, but not the point. Kind of reminds of way too much of Rias or Akano. Kind of annoying half the time, but yeah. That's where, well, he says, I see. How about the three factions? How have they been? Well, this is where the Succubus Queen does not really want to admit it, but they have not had the best time with the three factions, even in today's time now. Mostly it's been over months, and yet the three factions haven't changed. Issei noticed that distress in her face. He knows how the three factions have treated the Succubus. He actually talked to mostly Great Red before, kind of, or not Great Red, is talking to Destroyer and seeing how it is. Destroyer has just been saying that mostly the three factions have been somewhat attacking the Succubus, somewhat. So the devils are still acting arrogant and still want mostly succubus, like mostly slaves at the same time, sexual slaves. I see. And mostly, if all angels are the same, but the angels just try to kill them off because they still think that mostly succubus still kind of suck the life off human men. But that's not the case entirely. I see. I see. So what do they even suck off? The libido of someone. Libido? The sexual, how much sexual kind of like you in your previous kind of old body used to produce a lot of sexual kind of like lust and other shit. That's what libido is. I see. Now, right now, you don't produce that much because, well, you're too serious and too revengeful to actually even care about lust that much. That issue. I see. There's no way for me to actually help them in that part of the fucking deal. I could try to make it lower down. Or you can actually release all your pent-up anger and hatred into them. What the hell? What are you talking about? This is what it says. There's actually, even though you don't lust that much, you can always just use them as mostly like what the shit? Oh, sorry. I was looking outside the window and lightning literally strike across the fucking like mostly. So let me just explain something real fast. The reason why I say what the shit is because, well, mostly I was looking outside. I see lightning literally strike across like almost a tree, like almost hitting it. And I was like, it's not gonna rain. I was thinking to myself, and then I just see lightning strike. I'm like, oh shit, no, it might rain now that I think about it. If I see lightning, then there might be a storm coming. I am the storm that is approaching. No, just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm rambling on way too much. Okay. Sorry. Let me go. God damn it. But let me go back into what. Sorry about that. So we go into mostly Issei kind of seeing this. And here in Destroyer, even though Issei doesn't want to, he does have a lot of pent up stuff, but he's not going to show it. He's too revengeful and a little bit arrogant, but not much times. Or not arrogant, kind of cocky, but not cocky. Just doesn't really want to. He still has a very trust issue with girls. And he doesn't want to be betrayed again because he might explode this time. And this time, since he had the Black Dragon God, he might just explode with so much power that not even Great Red Orphans or anyone will be able to stop him. This world, well, he's not trying to fully destroy this world. If he wanted to destroy this world, he would have just blew up the goddamn planet. Blew up the planet that literally everyone was on, and he would have survived. But he's not going to do that. He has only revenge on Pacific people. He does not have revenge on everyone. He's not going to take his anger on every fucking person. Only Pacific people and Pacific factions. Like Devil, Angel, Fallen Angel. And also his parents. And some humans, and yeah, other than that, and also the fucking girls, and yeah, you get the point. Other than that, he's not going to just blow up the goddamn planet just because he fucking feels like it. He's not that cruel like Frieza. And yes, Frieza was one of his souls, and yeah, he thought that motherfucker was cruel as hell. And quite cowardly most of the time. Yeah, he has mostly villains that has fucking standards, and not being too cowardly, but yeah. Now, of course, well, Issei kind of just says, I see. Well, so you already know my name. The name is Succubus Eisen. The Succubus Queen nodded and says, yes. Hello there, Succubus. This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded. This is where, well, Issei says, what if I tell you that most of the three factions themselves can be eliminated by me? Well, not alone, but I have other people. I'm recruiting a lot of people to help me get rid of the factions. This is where, well, the Succubus Queen narrows her eyes and says, why? Well, why not? If I get rid of them, then, well, your race will need to die or be used as toys for devils or fallen angels at the same time. This is where, well, the Succubus Queen nodded. She does want mostly some of her people not to be kind of abused from those fuckers. And this is where, well, mostly she says, besides, what if I tell you that the Red Dragon Emperor, the current Red Dragon Emperor, is not the current Red Dragon Emperor no more? This is where the Succubus Queen narrowed her eyes. Now, this is where her daughters are actually just paying attention. And, of course, her daughters have just been blushing at the fact that this person, who's a man and does look like a human man most of the time, is basically good-looking as hell. He looks just like Aizen, but more like this right here. Yeah. This is where he's just sitting down, doesn't care too much. This is where, well, he's sitting down, crisscross, but not the point. Not exactly, but you get the point. He's just sitting down in a chair. This is where, well, we'll see. The Succubus Queen says, what do you mean he's not the current Red Dragon Emperor? Are you talking about Issei Hyodo? Yes, Issei Hyodo is no longer a part of the living, if you want to know. You see here, he was betrayed and mostly distraught and cheated on. He had a very powerful disease that was actually killing him slowly, with evil pieces actually killing him also, because the evil pieces corrupted, because the devils never told him anything about that. The devils actually wanted to get rid of him actually. They didn't need him no more after the fight between mostly, well, the Chaos Brigade and mostly the old devil faction versus the Red Dragon Emperor. But they needed that anymore. This is where, well, mostly the Succubus Queen right now, her heart kind of just stopped for a second. She widened her eyes. If the Red Dragon Emperor, if mostly this person is telling the truth, and the Red Dragon Emperor, the current Red Dragon Emperor that should be known as Issei Hyodo, is dead, then that means that the Succubus Queen doesn't really have any need to hold back against mostly the devils or angels or fallen angels. The only reason she's holding back is because she's really interested in mostly the Red Dragon Emperor and would love to be a part of his harem, even if her daughters would also join, because she knows about her daughter's interest in mostly the Red Dragon Emperor, the Opie lover or something. But this is where, well, if she's hearing it right, and the mostly devils got rid of the Red Dragon Emperor just because he was not needed no more, then why would she need to even hold back against him? Issei right now said that the Red Dragon Emperor lost to a disease called the Dragonfall. If you know what it is, Dragonfall is a mostly disease that when dragons get either betrayed by their mates or get, well, mostly their mates die. This Dragonfall disease cannot be cured at any point, meaning that the Dragonfall would die, mostly the person who was a dragon user or had a dragon sacred gear with him. So he died about 8 months ago. Yeah, he's been dead for 8 months. I realized one thing. How does no one ever fucking know about mostly his death? He's already dead. The White Dragon Empress has not done anything. And maybe she got lied about mostly his death. I'm surprised the news or any of that hasn't been reported. I'm just surprised that none of you actually know about the Red Dragon's death. He's not in Hades' realm. He's disappeared entirely, if that's what you're wondering. This is where, well, we'll see the Succubus Queen right now, her heart shattered from the fact after hearing that the Red Dragon Emperor is actually dead. And mostly Issei kind of just said, I don't know who the new current Red Dragon Emperor is right now, but whoever it is, they better have better luck than having mostly this crazy society trying to get them, mostly the supernatural. Don't know who it is, don't care who it is. Right now, I have better things to do. This is where, well, mostly the, what's it called? Well, not Red Dragon Emperor. Mostly, the Succubus Queen kind of said, wait, can I hear your deal? Okay. Issei right now explains him what he actually wants to do. He wants revenge on mostly the supernatural world. Mostly the Pacific faction would be mostly the, what's it called, devils, fallen angels, and angels. Other than that, he doesn't really care about any of the other factions. He does want revenge on the yokais also. Some of them, not all of them. But this is where, well, he doesn't like the gods, so he might actually go kill them because, well, he doesn't like them at all. And they're arrogant as hell. This is where, well, mostly the Succubus Queen kind of hears him out. Now, of course, you can see how powerful he is. And even if she decides to side with the factions, they would try to kill her anyway and try to take her people as mostly slaves. This is where, well, so of course she'd rather not side with them. And then again, Issei's power, or mostly Sosuke Aizen's power, is mostly at the same power level as a god or something, or beyond that. This is where Issei sighs and says, if you need more reassurance, I will show you that I have something that will be able to make you probably join me. Maybe. This is where Issei summons out 2 gauntlets near both of his hands. This is the Black Dragon Emperor, or mostly not Black Dragon Emperor, the Black Dragon Sacred Gear. Black Dragon God of Destruction Sacred Gear. Says, hello, Destroyer. Destroyer says, hello there, Succubus Queen. I am basically, if you really want to know in Pacific words, I was asleep for a while, so mostly hearing about Triseca, Great Red, and Orpheus, Yeah, they're an annoying bunch. Can't believe Triceca's an annoying. God, he can't believe he got sealed, or not he, she got sealed. This is where, well, mostly Issei and even the mostly Succubus Queen says she. This is where, well, mostly Sosuke was actually surprised to hear mostly Triceca is actually a she. This is where the Black Dragon says, "Oh wait, I never did tell you that, did I, Sosuke?" "No, you didn't." Well, I'll tell you later. But yes, Triceca's a she. Great Red is one of my brothers. Well, youngest brother, if you want to know in Pacific. That idiot. I'm gonna hurt him really bad for the fact that he didn't protect none of the dragons. Also, Orphis. Orphis the Infinity Dragon. She is not my sister. Also, I don't know where the fuck she came from. But all I want to know one fucking thing is for sure. If that bastard, she, her, him, or whatever, I'm gonna fucking kill later. This is where, well, mostly the Succubus Queen was shocked to hear that Great Red is not the oldest dragon and is not the strongest dragon. Instead, she's hearing it from the Black Dragon of Destruction, being none other than the Destroyer. Destroyer is the oldest and strongest dragon god to ever live. That means Triceca was completely the same level as Great Red, but weaker. Weaker than the Black Dragon Emperor. Or not Black Dragon Emperor. The Black Dragon of Destruction. This is where she wind her eyes and say, "I see. Well, you can join my partner here in his revenge, or you can stay here and, well, become slaves towards a faction that doesn't seem to care too much about your feelings." This is where, well, the queen decided. Fine, I'll help him out. So, guys, and you have a deal. This is where, well, mostly Issei decides to kind of smiles and grins and says, "Good. Good to know, Succubus Queen. Call me, what's it called?" This is where she says, "My name is Isabella Osa." This is where, well, she kind of said towards Sosuke. Sosuke says, "Okay, so what do you want me to call you?" "Isabella is better than my last name." This is where, well, Issei nodded. "Got it." This is where, well, the other three girls kind of said their own names. This is where, well, the first one says that her name was Merliana. Well, not Merliana, mostly her name was, what's it called? Not Merliana, mostly, her first, well, mostly the first one kind of said who was actually the blonde-haired girl with kind of reddish hair. Or not reddish hair, mostly blondish hair with reddish eyes and kind of red horns and kind of red wings, and not the point. She said her name is Mary. Also, and this is where, well, Issei said, okay. The middle girl, with mostly, how should I say? So the middle one says her name is Lilith. Also, she's actually, yes, she was actually named after mostly the first, well, mostly Succubus Queen, being Lilith, but not the point. And then the last one was actually named, well, the last one said that her name is Sakura Okasa, but yeah. Issei nodded and says, "Well, good to know." This is where the Succubus Queen name, well, Isabella kind of says, "How about my three daughters live with you? It's better if they actually live with you or kind of just go to the base operations that you have, Sosuke. Just for my daughters to know you much better." This is where Sosuke sighs and says, "How old are they exactly? I'm not trying to be chased down by the FBI." Issei said clearly, because, well, yeah, he's not a fucking pedo or any of that. This is where, well, she smiles and says, "Oh, they're all at the same age as mostly the current Red Dragon Emperor. Mostly, or the old Dragon Emperor. And you look to be the same age as that Red Dragon Emperor. So, are you sure your name isn't Issei?" This is where, well, mostly Sosuke looks at her with our eyes and says, "What are you talking about? First of all, no. The name is Sosuke Aizen. And second of all, yes, I am 18 also." This is where, well, mostly the three Succubus girls kind of actually are glad to believe that he's 18. Well, in human years, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly, well, Elizabeth says, "Well, good to know. So, will my daughter be able to live with you?" "Fine. But they won't like my roommates." "Probably not. I have no clue. Other than that, I'll be leaving. If they want to go, they can come. But other than that, I'll be leaving." This is where, well, mostly the girl says, "Wait, we won't even know where we're going." This is where Issei kind of says, "Fine, I'll wait until you guys get ready." This is where, well, the girls kind of get cheerful and just rushes off to their room. Well, mostly Isabella kind of just looks at mostly Sosuke, and this is where, well, she then kind of goes up to him and just like whisper into his ear saying, "You do realize I already know you're Issei Hyodo. Well, I know you probably don't like the Hyodo name." That's why when you keep using Eisen as your last name, it seems to be you're hinting that you want to be called Eisen, then Mosi Hiro. So how about it, Issei? Why did you change? And I can see that you no longer have the Red Dragon Emperor, but the Black Dragon Emperor. This is where Issei wanted his eyes, and now his eyes also. He was surprised at the mostly Succubus Queen, who was not just thinking of sexual relationship most of the time, actually found him out. This is where, Issei narrowed his eyes and says, how the fuck did you find out? First of all, you're not the fucking Red Dragon Emperor, or not Red Dragon Emperor, you're not the great fucking Red Baka, who actually found me out pretty quick. So who are you? This is where, Issei narrowed his eyes. Mostly Succubus Queen says, I'm shocked. Do you believe that I was going to not find you out? I might not be great Red Sama, but I'm still quite powerful and quite older than you think. This is where, Issei narrows his eyes and says, scoff. He just scoffs and says, whatever. Do whatever with that information. You can even tell the factions. But why would I do that when I actually want to be a part of your harem? Issei looks at her with narrowed eyes and says, you do realize I don't care about harems anymore. This is where, the Succubus Queen kind of lick her lips and says, you say that now, but you're going to screw my daughters over when you get back home. Isn't that right? You've been kind of looking at them. Issei says, I've been only looking at them, seeing if they will be so powerful to me. Oh, they will be powerful. They are my daughters anyway. But you don't need to lie about that lust up, pent up kind of in your body, you know that? You can always just release them upon my daughter, you know that? They won't mind. This is where we'll see Issei narrow his eyes and says, can you stop bothering me with this shit? I'm not interested in lust, love, or any of it. I'm interested in revenge, hatred, and murder, despair, and other things. Why do you keep believing that I am still the original Hiro Issei or whatever? This is where we'll see the Succubus Queen grins and says, even if you say that, even if you say that you're not, the same Issei Hiro, you are still Issei, and you're still going to be known as a very lustful man, even if you change bodies, even if you created this body of yours. This is where, she kind of go and kind of wrap her hands, kind of like, kind of strolling around most Issei's chest, feeling the muscles even underneath the bandages. This is where, she grins and says, even if you say that you're not Issei Hiro, the lustful person, the libido that literally can rival that of mine own libido, that's a lie, because clearly you are quite amazing. You know, I'm just saying, if you have so much libido inside you, you can just kind of give it to my daughters. Issei narrows his eyes and just says, God, is all succubus all they think about is sexual stuff? No, because if I found out your identity this quick, do you really think I'm going to think about libido all the time? Issei sighs and says, whatever. Just so annoying. I'm not going to do anything to your daughters, and I won't care too much. I really just want revenge, and that's all. Fine. But if they come back home without their purity, I'm going to think that you actually took them. You took them on that offer. Took me on that offer most of the time. Mostly not innocent. Mostly Issei just scoffs and says, shut up and leave me alone. Issei starts walking away from mostly the Succubus Queen and just appear outside, and just waiting. This is where, the three girls appear, and of course we go into mostly a time skip of mostly them getting to the house by teleportation magic, or mostly not teleportation magic, gargantua. But this is where they get there, and they see mostly the three other kind of girls, mostly Allison and mostly Kaiga and also Aiki, or Aiki, I forgot her last name, or not last name, first name, and they were not fully clothing. One, mostly Allison, was basically having a button-up shirt that had no bra or nothing, and mostly barely even panties kind of covering up anything, Or, she did have panties, but it was like a black thong or whatever. And this is where, mostly, the other two were actually wearing these very, sexual, outfits that barely even cover any cleavage or any of that. Basically showing off their kind of opie, This is where, mostly their tails managed to cover up after seeing Issei appear with the gargantua, and of course other girls appear. This is where, they won their eyes after seeing more girls. And this is where Issei says, if you're wondering, I went to the freaking Succubus Queen, mostly the land and other blah blah blah. other than that, this will be the place you'll be living at. I'm gonna go talk to Great Red. Now, of course, well, mostly the Kitsunes, the two Kitsunes, and also the vampire kind of descendant do know about Great Red and Issei's relationship. It's not great. Issei literally attacks Great Red for mostly all the time of bullcrap and annoyment. Which you don't know Issei's real name because I only guess that his name is Sosuke and Sosuke Aizen, but not the point. But this is where, well, we go into Issei making Gargantua and kind of teleporting back towards the dimensional gap. And this time Issei says, okay, listen up, you fucking Great Red bastard. This is where Great Red says, okay, why are you angry this time? How the fuck did that fucking, I should say, Succubus Queen found out my real name? This is where, well, and my true identity. This is where, well, we'll see, Great Red said, I have no clue. I have no clue why are you looking at me like you're gonna murder me? Because I am gonna murder you. He summons out both the goblins and says, get over here, stupid fucking dragon. Ah, fuck! This is where Great Red is trying to fly away, and Issei says, get over here! But yeah, but for right now, I'm gonna leave it off here for mostly part, what's it called? 3 of this What If. Other than that, bye, soon, yeah. That's it, actually, it's 3, wait. So yeah, part 3 of this What If. Other than that, bye, soon, yeah. Bye-bye.